Welcome to Alive. This is Father Jonathan Meyer, and it is the 28th week in Ordinary Time. Our gospel passage today is Mark chapter 10, 17 through 27. And Jesus is asking for everything. And he's not just asking for us to follow the Ten Commandments. He's not just asking us to follow laws. He wants everything. He wants your life, and he wants your heart. And so today I'd like to talk about money. Because people don't like to talk about money when it comes to faith and religion and all these things, but Jesus does. And Jesus wants us to really look at ourselves and say, like, am I willing to give? Am I willing to sacrifice? Am I willing to lay it all on the line? And when we realize how much he has given to us, if we can imagine the immensity of the cross, of what he has poured out to us, what he has given to us, our only response can be like, I have to give back because he has given us everything. The same is true just when we think about the masses. The Mass is the representation of Calvary. It is the representation of the tomb. And if he's given us everything, his body, blood, his soul, and divinity, our salvation is literally laid before us. What am I willing to give back? How am I willing to offer? And it's that time of year, as we enter into harvest season and the fall, it's always that time of year where the church always talks to people about financial giving and stewardship. What am I doing with my time, talent, and treasure, right? How much time do I give the Lord? I always think that a beautiful thing to, 1% of your day is 14 minutes and 40 seconds. Like, do I give 1% of my day to the Lord? 10% of your day is 2 hours and 40 minutes. What would it look if I gave 10% of my day to the Lord? I think that's a beautiful challenge. What would that look like? What would I have more joy? Would I have more peace, right? Talent. What gifts do you have? What gifts do you have, and who do you give them to, right? So if I have the gift of woodworking, have I ever made anything for the church? Have I ever called the parish office and say, hey, have you on? I have the ability of woodworking, like I'd like to use that. Could you put my name on a list? I have the ability to clean. I like to clean things. I would like to clean something for the church. I like to iron. I like to wash. My granny, my mom's mom, she loved ironing. We have people in our parish that every single week are cleaning altar linens. Like, if you have a gift, we can use it. If you can fry chicken, we can use it. If you can bake a pie, we can use it. If you have clerical skills, if you are able to answer phones or collate letters, we would love to use that. If you have the ability to teach, use that gift. If you have the ability to play a musical instrument, use it. If you have the ability to sing, use it. You have the ability to garden. I have 35 buildings in Dearborn County. We would love our buildings to have flowers in front of all of them. Time, talent, and then treasure. People like to talk about treasure, and we go to college, and we earn our money, and it's ours, and we live in a world right now where it is so hard. Things are crazy expensive right now. The basic principle and teaching of the church is that we look at our finances and we say, okay, God, you gave this to me. I didn't earn it. You gave it to me. I could be fired tomorrow. I couldn't have a job possibly. The fact that I have a job, the fact that I have the ability to move, to breathe, that I have the ability to do whatever it is that I make money from is all a gift from you. And God, I'm going to give you 10% and I'll just deal with the other 90. In fact, I might even want to give you more than 10% because I can and I want to. But that's always been the basic understanding. That's always been the basic principle. And yet people haven't given that. Just like people don't give 10% of their time, they don't give their talents to Jesus, they also don't give their money. And at the end of our lives, I think there is going to be a reckoning. There's going to be what did you spend all that money on? What did you spend all your time on? What did you do with all those talents that I gave you? We just had a yard sale for our young adults. By the way, we have about 30 young people that are going to Seek, a conference for young adults. It's the national conference for young adults. It's amazing. If you'd like to make a donation to that, please feel free to go ahead and contact our parish office. But we just had a yard sale. And clearly, we all buy a bunch of junk. And we all have way too much stuff. And we all have stuff in our homes that we don't need. And we buy things all the time that are just garbage and junk that we really don't need. And yet, when it comes to giving to the Lord, we don't want to do it. We want to be selfish. We want to sit on the things that we have and not offer them to the Lord. Sadly, it's part of our human nature. It's like Adam and Eve in the garden. They're grasping. Why? Because they want things for themselves instead of offering things to others. We grasp, we possess, we hold on to. And our gospel passage today is so very clear that Jesus wants everything. He wants us to just give to him. Now, once again, I always like to tell people, if you start giving 10% of your money today because you haven't been giving any, and then next week I have to pay for your grocery bill and pay for your electric bill, that's not what we desire. We want you to be financially responsible, which is something as a community and as a parish, we need to own up to. We're actually, as a parish council, as a purpose planning committee, we're talking about the fact that we need to start offering financial planning classes. We need to help families financially and fiscally manage their resources so that they can take care of themselves, but also so that they can actually be generous. I think people want to be generous, but they're scared. They're like, I can't be generous because I'm scared of what's going to happen next week and whether I'll be able to provide for myself and care for myself. So God does want us to have some sense of security because we can then, out of that, be generous. We can not live in fear. And so I'll just put out the invitation. We have a couple who is interested in beginning a financial ministry, but if you feel called to do that, please contact our parish offices. We would love to have couples that are financially secure, that have maybe gone through financial times and now have learned about financial security. We would love you to mentor our newly married couples. We would love you to mentor couples that are struggling, or families that are struggling, or singles that are struggling, or young adults. Imagine if every young adult was given the resources to be financially secure for their family, for their children, but also to be able to be generous as God calls us to. So if this is something that God is calling you to do, then hey, take the time, take your talent, and share your treasures, right? So hopefully this is helpful. I think this biblical passage is always a challenge for me, even as a priest. I do poverty checks all the time. I go through my rectory and I was like, I have too much stuff and I need to get rid of it. And try to give things away, sell things, bless other people with the resources that God has given to me. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, please share it with other people. Please like our videos. And there are questions down below for you to share with friends and have a discussion. God bless you and have a good day.